the AFC West division that's ruled by my boy Patrick Mahomes, greatest quarterback to ever touch the field. Uh, so let's get into the standings and all that, man.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with your standings. Your standings, bro.
All right, I got the Chiefs winning the division at 13-4. I have the Chargers finishing second at 10-7. I got the Broncos at 9-8, and I have the Raiders at 3-14.
I got the Chiefs winning the division at 13-4. I got the Chargers in second place at 10-7. They have the Broncos in third place at 9-8. I have the Raiders last 4-13.
Wow, I
For
was
the
gonna say we was
Broncos, I
on
think they're gonna
offense.
miss the playoffs but they're gonna improve from last year with the addition of Sean Payton, getting a better O line from a running standpoint. I think it's gonna be a run heavy team. Sean Payton likes to do that, especially with quarterbacks like Drew Brees and Russell Wilson. I think defense is still gonna be pretty good, but they have some holes on defense and some holes on offense. Just lost Tim Patrick for the entire season, so that's gonna make things even worse. Javante's coming off an ACL injury. A lot of questions. Is Russ washed? I think so. So that's why I got them in third and missing the playoffs. The Chargers, it's really just if they can stay healthy. The defense still needs some work. I still don't trust Brandon Staley. I think the upgrade for him, a head coach. But Kellen Moore is gonna work wonders for what's his name, my boy Justin Herbert, this year. And I
What's his
think
name
Quentin.
is terrible. What's his name is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That
I
was
be having blanks, but y'all
But
know.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
You think Deshaun Watson is washed?
No, but that's two
Why
different
not?
situations.
He had
Oh,
he had a bad year.
no.
He
With
had one
him,
bad year, right?
Deshaun Watson missed 2 seasons basically, and
And
also
did he have a
oh,
bad
oh,
year?
but no, he didn't get a training camp. He didn't get to even practice with his team for the entirety of the season. And I think most of this stuff was just chemistry issues with Russell Wilson. It kind of just looks like
No,
Pete
you
Carroll.
seen Russell
It kind
Wilson
of
out of
kind of
the
like
system.
it kind of like Pete Carroll was protecting a lot of Russell Wilson's weaknesses. And
Is that not his job?
yes, it is his job, but
All
kind of like
right, now don't talk because you like to continue once you get caught.
caught. That's crazy.
Pete Carroll's job is to make sure everything is right and make sure his quarterback succeeds. Put everything around him so he can succeed and to save him from himself. The first time you've seen that not happen, he performed bad. I'm pretty sure we all in agreement that Sean Payton is better than Pete Carroll. And
Yeah.
he's better on the right side of the ball. So for the majority, the 8 Pro Bowls, clearly Russell Wilson was good. First time out of system, when everything changed, he was bad. Don't you think the better coach on the right side of the ball would get him going back to the things that he was doing that made him successful? Because
Yeah, but
regardless of
I also think
those deficiencies been there since he got drafted, and it never mattered till you actually got to see it because he was not put in the situations. I'm not saying Russell Wilson don't got to own some of that.
mattered.
I'm not saying that at all. But
It doesn't matter.
clearly the system didn't work. If you put him back in the right system, it'll work. It'll be just fine.
Well, I think I think
it.
that system was contingent a little bit on Russ's athletic ability. He has supposedly gotten in better shape, but I think he has lost a little bit of step, especially
It
like
actually wasn't. It was just a lot of play action. You
a
don't
lot
have
of
to
play
be
action with him
uber-
rolling out. Yes, no.
Yeah,
A lot
but
of
you
play
don't have to be uber athletic. Like it didn't
But
matter.
a lot of it
quarterbacks
though was him scrambling, buying time for his receivers to get open when they didn't. I don't
That
think
also because Seattle notoriously never had a great offensive line, so he had to do that anyway.
Yo,
the
Q,
If
Broncos
his
offensive line,
gets
Broncos
better,
offensive line is
the play
mid.
action will get
have,
better.
have Q say standings. Have Q say standings before we keep going on. Have Q say
Go ahead.
standings.
Chiefs obviously win the division, 13-4. I got the Broncos and the Chargers both going 9-8. I don't know where I'm gonna put them between 3 and like 2 and 3 because I don't know like if they split or whatever, but they both going 9-8. And I got the Raiders going 4. I think what's that 4-13. So they in the Caleb sweepstakes.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson, though, I just think he probably play he'd probably be like a top 15 quarterback, like instead of being a bottom 32 one, like he was last year. But Sean Payton will work wonders for him. Yes, he'll put him in the right positions, but he has to be able to make those throws. Like it can't be moments where like last year on the goal line he makes
And this
KJ
is the
Hamler.
first time you ever seen him not make the throws. The first time out
No,
the
I don't think
system
so.
that made him
I don't think so.
successful.
because
that's just not true though. Like that's literally just not true. Like,
Let me explain. Can I explain?
You can't explain to me something that's false.
Can I explain something to you? Why my reasoning is, did Russell Wilson have great seasons, Pro Bowl seasons? After
8 of them in a row. Yes.
Okay. Yes, he did. But when that defense got weak, got weak, you see what happened? He wasn't able to, carry his team like other teams.
The defense in Seattle was bad for 4 straight years.
It was terrible.
The offense carried. Russell Wilson literally carried the offense. If you say otherwise, you were not watching football.
I'm not disagreeing that Russell Wilson carried the offense, but that style of play, where did they get them? Nowhere. And that's why I think
the defense was bad. They literally gave up points to everybody.
Listen,
you saying things that don't correlate.
It's been reported that Pete Carroll wanted to run the ball more, but no, Russell Wilson wanted to pass the ball and let Russ cook and go for MVP stuff like that. When the best interest of the team was to run the ball. That literally
was a report for 1 year, his last year. The year he was already trying to get out.
Wait. What correlation does that have to do with the Broncos being bad, Chief?
Oh, I never said they were going to be bad. I said they were going to be 9-8. I said he asked me was Russell Wilson watch. Try to think of Deshaun Watson when those circumstances are completely different.
I agree. Like I don't think
we taking outliers and just running with them. You never seen it before except for one time, and clearly things were different.
Max, we can bring up a clip of you saying Russell Wilson is washed on this podcast before. I promise you.
Maybe you can also bring up a clip of me saying Deshaun Watson's washed. I don't think it's fair to say that they're two opposite situations.
They are in different situations because last year we saw Deshaun Watson. His bad year was because one, he didn't get a training camp at all. And he missed basically 2 full seasons of football where Russell Wilson did not. He played.
Russ was injured last year too. Going into training camp. He also didn't have one, and he was injured again in the season.
He was injured. He didn't get a training camp, but over the course of the first 12 weeks of the season, he didn't get to practice with his team either. That's a whole different situation. Stop trying to compare it.
Point still stands that the system clearly wasn't geared towards what he was able to do. That's obvious.
Yes, Nathaniel Hackett did not gear the system towards him.
Yeah, maybe. But maybe you could.
I say he's gonna be much better. He's gonna be much better than last year, but I don't think.
Maybe you can pull up a clip of me saying that Russ is washed, but I don't think Russ is washed. I think the Broncos are gonna be like solid this year. Like I don't think that team's bad. Like their defense.
I didn't say they were gonna be red.
Russ was a top 10 quarterback literally 2 years ago.
Yes, and he's ever getting
situations changed. Once situations changed, and he was taken out of the best situation for him, and it did not work out. That's what coaching is for.
I agree.
Do you think he's gonna be a top 10
quarterback? If he went back to Seattle, he probably goes back to just about the level he was playing before he left Seattle.
Do you think he's gonna be a top 10
quarterback? He's a better coach than Pete Carroll, so obviously he should be back.
Do you think he's gonna be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
No, but he's gonna get up to like that Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins level. That's good enough.
I just say he's gonna be top 15, did I not?
You said he could be top half.
He could be top 15, yeah.
That ain't washed.
It's worse than what he was. I guess Wash is strong.
I mean,
the talent that has came into the league now is just a lot different. Even if he didn't have a bad year last year, or even if he stayed,
if he would have had a year,
he would be a top 10 quarterback.
Nah, because if he would have stayed like he was in 2021 or what it was, he'd have been better than Dak because Dak had a terrible season last year.
But he would have been better than Jared Goff. The top 8 that's there right now, even if he played like 2021 Russ, he'll be top 10, but he'll be bottom 7. With the talent he probably would have been better than Geno. So the him going down doesn't mean anything a lot because the talent just got that much better.
He would have been better than Geno. He would have been Jared Goff. He would have been better than Kirk Cousins, and he would have been better than Dak. So he would probably been like
for last season or 2 years ago.
No. Like let's say he would have stayed at the same pace he was last season because he was actually very good before he got injured, and after the injury he came back decent as well. So he would have still been better than all the people I just named.
So he would have been floating around that bucket from 8 to 8-15. It just depends on who had the better year.
So why is he washed if he's better than if he would have been better than Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott? And
that was 2 years ago.
You gotta remember, Tifa a Jet fan now, so he on rip. Gotta do that.
What is that? Oh yeah, let's address that. Let's address Sean Payton. Talking bad about let's address that. We did not talk about that last episode.
But you just got to hope that Aaron Rodgers does not turn out to be Russell Wilson 2.0.
Oh, he's not. Don't worry about that. He's not because he was actually but he was MVP. He was MVP. That's why we don't do that.
And the thing about that is he was MVP with Mike LaFleur and Nat Hackett. Remember I talked about this before. Nobody knows if it was Nathaniel Hackett actually running the system and not Mike LaFleur because Mike LaFleur is actually the real play caller for that team. So who's to say Nat Hackett really has his handprints all over
Okay, but he also did go to.
They got questions, and Aaron Rodgers just came off a bad year.
Okay, I understand that, but he's not gonna be Russell Wilson. I can guarantee you that. Now listen,
why?
You don't know that
because I'm about to tell you why. First of all, Nathaniel Hackett actually did a great job calling plays in Denver. It just wasn't for Russell Wilson, which is a problem, obviously.
He didn't do a good job of calling plays. Know your personnel.
He literally.
Yeah, you're right. He called open. He called open plays. The
exactly. He got receivers open.
That offense was a Mike LaFleur offense, which is also a Kyle Shanahan offense. But we don't
ran
know
a West Coast offense, and that's what Aaron Rodgers is used to. Yes or no? He ran a West Coast.
But we don't know if he did that or it was Mike LaFleur. That's my only saying.
That's fine, but he got experience calling plays last year.
Aaron Rodgers off a bad year with an unknown, a really unknown.
Why is he unknown? Why is he unknown? Because he got players open last year. He got players open last year. Also, don't compare Aaron Rodgers to Russell Wilson because 2 years.
A bad year is a bad year regardless.
Let me explain to you. 2
I'm
years
not
ago,
comparing 2 bad years. He just had a bad year.
I'm talking to Max. He said who knows that if Aaron Rodgers is going to be Russell Wilson 2.0. He is not, because last year, first of all, he was never on Russell Wilson's level because he was way higher than that. 2 years ago, he came off the MVP, and last year in a down season for Aaron Rodgers. And hold on, stop.
2 years ago, he came off an MVP.
Stop. Yes,
he got an MVP 3 years ago. Is what you're saying?
No, 2 years. No, the year. What are you talking about?
You said
season
2
last.
Two years ago, he just won MVP. Just
back-to-back season. So whatever you want to do, he still was off MVP. Now, anyways. Back what I was saying.
We know.
No.
Rodgers is not. Russell Wilson ain't Rodgers. We know that.
Don't interrupt my monologue. Listen, a down season for Aaron Rodgers is 26-12. A down season for Russell Wilson is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, Aaron Rodgers, his reps were terrible last year. There were rookie wide receivers who were dropping the ball and had miscommunication. Did he do a bad job of communicating with them and being a leader? Yes. He was an asshole. Aaron Rodgers is not a good teammate until this year, which he actually is becoming a better teammate.
I tell you what, though,
they traded his best weapon. You know what I'm saying?
And that was his own fault. That was his own fault.
Didn't he go from the third to the 30th?
Devontae want to come back home. You heard that, right? Devontae want to come back home.
Yeah. Did Rodgers not go from the 3rd to the 30th best pass block protection or whatever? I saw somewhere it's like he went from like the Packers being like the 3rd best to the Jets.
The offensive line wasn't a problem last year. The offensive line was a problem.
For who?
For the Packers.
Yeah. Huh?
They weren't good. They had injuries all over the line.
It wasn't the biggest problem. It wasn't the biggest problem. It wasn't the biggest problem.
The O-line for the Jets is not this great O-line. Like, they have work to do.
A lot of the problems that happened that were last year for the Packers were offense, and that was. I don't put too much on Aaron not showing up to OTAs and stuff, but like clearly was a thing in chemistry issues.
It was a lot of chemistry issues on him.
It's still a bad O-line, and it's still a question mark at OC.
I think they'll be fine if they stay healthy. Was a big if. You know, Mekhi Becton stay healthy. Elijah Vera Tucker, he stay healthy. We'll be fine. But we're not even talking about the Jets right now. But
let me just make sure I got this right.
Also, I would like to say, last year one of the biggest problem is his attitude towards the younger rookies, and we see this year he's having a completely different attitude. He's taking less money. He's bonding with Sauce. He's bonding with Garrett Wilson. He's bonding with Zach Wilson.
That's the issue right there, because so many people are now, since they see all this Jet stuff, they just throwing away everything he did last year. Like it doesn't even matter. Like everybody just acting so blind. It's crazy.
Aaron Rodgers got me feeling happy, man. What stuff he doing for the Jets right now? Taking less money, mentoring Zach Wilson, bonding with Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. I love
we stayed too long in the Jets conversation. We got to finish up the AFC West. We're not even talking.
All right, let's talk about the AFC West a little bit more though.
Can I ask one question before? Do we see Devontae Adams traded this year or next year?
This year.
Do you guys have any thoughts?
Matter of fact, I don't know about that.
Do you guys see any locations or any trade targets for Josh Jacobs or Devontae Adams?
Not particularly. I'm not gonna lie.
What if Devontae Adams?
Devontae Adams would be a Jet. Devontae Adams would be a Jet by the trade deadline. I just want you to know that.
If they're in Caleb's sweepstakes, they might want to keep Devontae. So when Caleb get there, if that's what they get, they got a pure number.
The Jets is not bad though. The Jets not bad because he might want to.
The Jets don't need a number one. They just need. They could get another receiver. Like that trade deadline, they could go get Mike Evans or something like that, and that's just another target.
Mike Evans is a worse version of Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? Why would you go?
All right.
I don't think Devontae's gonna have this big.
Garrett Wilson is. Well,
Devontae's
they
not
two
gonna
different type of receivers.
Devontae's not gonna have this big price tag, and if prices are similar, I think Devontae is the much better receiver to go out and get, especially because he knows.
Also, I would like to say, I don't think Mike Evans. He's a great receiver. Yeah, great in the red zone for sure. We got Alan Lazard. That's all I gotta say in the red zone.
Who?
Alan Lazard.
What?
In the red zone? Alan Lazard is pretty good in the red zone. I would like to say.
Who?
All right, Mike Evans is.
Is he not good in the red zone?
I don't even know. It doesn't matter.
He is good
Like,
in the red zone. All right, but let's get
Stop hyping up the Jets' offensive talent outside of Garrett Wilson because it's literally
Evans might be one of the best red zone targets of our era.
Respect
Mike
Corey
Evans
Davis.
is so underrated. Mike Evans is very underrated of our time. Like
Respect Corey
ridiculous, bro.
Respect Corey Davis.
Corey Davis. We're putting respect on Corey Davis's name, but we're
Can we stop talking about the Jets and get back to the AFC West? Let's. Who is the biggest threat to the Chiefs dynasty in the AFC specifically?
In the
Who are the
AFC,
biggest threats? Yeah,
like the whole AFC or just the division?
This
the whole AFC.
This year, the Ravens.
I think it's the Bengals or the Bills.
Block Nation. What?
I think it's the Bengals or the Bills. They historically had the most problems with those two teams. I don't know why.
I'm a Bills guy. The Bills, that's not really a thing.
I need to make sure Joe Burrow's fine. Joe Burrow's fine might be a different story, but like
they had two very close playoff games though. Well, not the first one wasn't, but the second.
If Joe Burrow's fine, it might be a different story. But this year, I really like the Ravens.
If the Bills don't win this year, they got 3 steps. They got like 2 steps back to take. Same thing with the Bengals, because money's gonna come up. They got to redo it. They got to get new corners. They starting 2 young safeties. They're gonna have to. They're letting go of Sam Hubbard probably next year.
Tyler Boyd or something.
Because that defense is older. You feel me? They're gonna want their money soon. Because the defense was already there before Joe Burrow really got there. So like all that money is got to come off, and then they got to pay Joe, pay Jamal, pay T. So
then they just signed Orlando Brown to a big deal too.
Yeah, who also wasn't that good last year.
I'm about to say Orlando Brown is not that good,
but they still paid him a lot of money. So
they paid a lot of money to fix the O-line, but the O-line still ain't fixed. So it's like they gonna still have the same issues.
All right, next question up. For the Chargers, is this a year they become real contenders in the AFC? And who has the most pressure on them, Justin Herbert or Brandon Staley?
Let me go. I saw this question first. It's Brandon Staley. I'm sorry. You could put majority of quarterbacks in this position, and they're going to do the same thing. Justin Herbert's battled with injuries. He's battled with poor coaching. It's been like a whole bunch of stuff. I think Justin Herbert's a great quarterback. We know that he's obviously a top 5 quarterback. I have him higher, but I think you put other quarterbacks in the same situation, it's not going to pan out the same way. I think if his receivers stay healthy and Kellen Moore is actually calling Bible play calls, they're actually making like a decent offensive scheme week by week. I think 10-7 could easily turn into 12-5 or 11-6, and you win a couple more playoff games. I don't think they win the division, but I think you could maybe challenge it. Maybe you can get the KC nervous for a week or two. Don't they play week 18?
No.
Oh, the Chargers and the Chiefs?
Week 17 or 18, I think.
Yeah, it's usually like end of the game. I think it's 17.
They play one of them. So I think maybe it's not a game-winning game, or it's not a division clinching game, but I think you could make KC scared towards the end of the year. So it's a lot of it has to do with injuries.
They do play week 18.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna be a nice matchup.
Is it in SoFi or Arrowhead?
I don't know. I think the Chargers won't be contenders unless their defense comes to actually play. They got to get healthy, one, and then Brandon Staley has to have no input on offense at all. Just focus on defense. He's pretty good at scheme and stuff like that. He just have to be more consistent. He has to be more healthy. If J.C. Jackson get back into form, if Nick Bosa can stay healthy, if Khalil Mack can stay where he was last year, then they'll be fine. I think they got Eric Kendricks as a linebacker as well, who's pretty decent. So as long as the defense comes to play, be better than it was last year, I feel like this team could potentially be contenders. Now, on offense, they brought in Quentin Johnson, who has been lighting up training camp. I really wanted them to pick Zay Flowers, but they picked Quentin Johnson. But I just feel like if he is able to extend plays after the catch, then he'll be fine. Create separation. Their biggest problem is creating separation. Keenan Allen doesn't create much separation anymore this year, at this late in his career. Mike Williams really never creates separation. He just a big play, like throw it up there, 50-50 ball receiver, and great in the red zone. But I think if Kellen Moore can have a way better offensive scheme than Joe Lombardi, this team can be dangerous in the playoffs and in the regular season.
Well, that's without a doubt.
Yeah, I think they have one of the best rosters. But I really feel like with this, looking at the schedule, them going 10-7 and then not making the playoffs. I'm getting major like Phillip Rivers, Chargers vibes. Like it's getting. I feel like Justin Herbert is more talented than Phillip Rivers, but I can see year after year after year them being this short from being a contender, them being this short from making the playoffs. With the Chargers, it feels like it's always something with them, bro. And I feel like it's been like that since Phillip Rivers. And I just hope that we don't look up in 10 years and be like, damn, Justin Herbert had all the talent in the world, but he never won a Super Bowl. Like it might be like that, bro.
That's on par for the Chargers. I ain't gonna lie. Like that's a Chargers thing to do.
You could say with a bunch of different teams though.
Yeah, but I think like the defense will be better because Kellen Moore gonna have them scoring like damn near 30 points a game. A good way to make your defense better. If you put up points fast, now you know the other team got to pass the ball. Now you just rushing after the quarterback. They're gonna have less time to do anything. More mistakes, more turnovers, things like that. Staley, they have to win at least one playoff game because if he doesn't, he's fired, and Kellen Moore is right there to take his spot. Justin Herbert doesn't really have no pressure because it's kind of like
people know how good he is. People know how good he is.
It's also he hasn't really got better. He's just a top 5 talent. You feel me? He's what he is like without getting better. He's still gonna be basically a Hall of Famer, all the numbers and everything. But you haven't seen no increase of like him just progressing. He doesn't have to progress a lot, but like his slight little progression from him plus a better coaching, that team can really go far. You just got to see it.
You're not going to upgrade the quarterback position. Like you're not going to trade Justin Herbert. And
Yeah, never.
You could upgrade a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like Staley's expendable. Like Herbert is not. So, Chief, last question. The last two.
For the Raiders, should they be taking for Caleb Williams this year or trying to compete in a division or in AFC?
No question, tank.
Like they're gonna try to compete. They should tank. Like the first 5-7 weeks, you're gonna see them try to compete. They will tank, or Jimmy gonna get hurt and they're gonna be forced to tank. So either way,
they got an okay roster. Their secondary is terrible, but who they bring in Tyree Wilson this year for the D line. Then they got Max Crosby and
Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones, who took a step back last year. They still got Hunter Renfrow, and they got Jacoby Myers and what's his name?
Devontae.
Bro, I'm blanking. Devontae. Yeah, bro. So theoretically they could win like 6 games this year, but I feel like 6-7 games they're chilling.
To fight to win 6 or 7 games is stupid to me. You might as well lose, win 3, win 3 to fake it, but keep it at 3 because they have a lot of options. Because even if they don't get the pick that they want, they could possibly trade their pick. Because Arizona's gonna get the number 1 pick. You could possibly just trade for Kyler, like straight up trade for Kyler. Like you got another top 10 talented type talent QB and just start it over. Kyler with Devontae is like Kyler with D-Hop.
You just gotta upgrade the defense.
You ain't gotta really pick it up too much.
Do y'all think Sean Payton is gonna fix Russell Wilson?
I don't think there's a lot to be fixed.
What's fixed?
I just think
I'm
Russell's in the wrong situation.
What's
you
fixed?
Think he's gonna be, when I say fix, he's gonna be better than one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
But the only he didn't change Russ didn't change as a player, like at all. He's still the same exact player. He was in the wrong system. All you're doing is fixing the system. Clearly, like I said, obviously he clearly declined. He got injured and he got older. He got slower. He's not as mobile. But you put him in the system, in the system that works for him, which Sean Payton said he's going to get him back to doing what he was doing to be successful for the past 10 years, he should be fine. Like it's not no real fixing to do. It's not like he was broken. He didn't break. He was just in a bad system. It didn't work for him.
I think some layup passes that he should have made last year, he definitely missed.
But that was never his thing.
Not because of the system. Not because of the system though. I'm not meaning like
I'm saying in his career ever, he never was taking easy throws like ever. He always extended plays. Like he was always the same player. And him being that same player resulted in
he holds the ball too long. He holds the ball too long. He holds the ball too long.
That's been him forever. It's just that when
So
something
he needs to fix
happens
that.
so
He needs to fix that,
drastic,
though.
I'm just,
He needs to fix that.
but nobody was saying that before this year. That's what I'm saying. When something happens so drastic, it causes everybody to say the major things like you forgot it, everything he did because nothing changed. It's like the Jaylen Brown situation. Jaylen Brown never was able to dribble with his left hand. He was never a good playmaker. People just realize it now because he getting some money. You feel me? Or like it got glaring in the biggest spots. But Russell Wilson ain't really changed. He's been the same player that made 8 Pro Bowls. Like same player that was carrying the Seahawks when the defense was bad. He just needed to put in the right system. Pete Carroll, yes.
Carrying the weird.
He held them back. He did what a coach is supposed to do. I'm going to put my quarterback in the best spot. I'm going to put him there and save him from himself. That's what coaches do. Or you're supposed to do. Clearly, he has to take some onus, but it's not like if Russ was so great, it probably would have been better. It probably still would have been the same. Because he's getting play calls for him that he was just never able to do.
All right, man. That was the AFC West preview. Honestly, though, this division is kind of crazy because going into last season, we're like, damn, this is going to be one of the best divisions we've seen in a long time with the addition of Russell Wilson. And then I think people are a lot lower on the Broncos than they were. I don't think they're contenders. Them winning the Super Bowl is really out.
Bad taste in them, though.
Yeah, but when you really look at it, the roster is not that good, honestly, especially the offensive weapons. Outside of Jerry Jeudy is pretty suspect. Javonte Williams coming off ACL. Tim Patrick got injured again. Cortland Sutton is always injured.
The defense was their good roster was that they had a great defense already. I mean, the weapons.
Yeah, but then they lost Bradley Chubb.
They're good enough that if Rodgers went there with Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick say he didn't get injured, that would have still probably been a top 10 offense because even if Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are a bunch of wide receiver twos, Aaron Rodgers could work with a bunch of wide receiver twos because he's done that already. Like it wouldn't have been hard for him. The system just that's his system. He would have been able to hit all those open throws because he's been doing that.
Yeah, and then the defense is I feel like going to probably make a step back this year. They still got Justin Simmons. They still got bro. I keep looking on names.
They got Justin Simmons. They got PS2. They got Ronald Darby. They got Randy Gregory.
Randy Gregory is like.
It's when he's on the field. When he's on the field, he produces. He just doesn't stay. He's just never on the field.
Frank Clark is not all that. Personally, that's what I feel like.
He's like in the playoffs. He's a elite pass rusher in the playoffs. Like elite.
In the playoffs.
Regular season, not so much. He was cool.
They're not making the playoffs.
Like,
so. They're not making the playoffs, so he won't have to worry about that.
Him singled up. If you got him singled up and Randy Gregory singled up, and then you got DJ Jones singled up, somebody's getting back there. Like. And then they got Zach Allen from Arizona, who just came off a 10-sack season. Everybody, you can't double nobody, so they're gonna get pressure more. They're gonna try to get turnovers and get short fields, try to make it easy for themselves. But I still think they end at like 9-8.
Definitely wasn't their problem. But didn't they lose Vic Fangio, who was there, still consulting last year a little bit? I think who they got now. They got last year they had.
If he was with Sean Payton before, I forgot.
Yeah,
but. Vic Fangio with Miami.
Yeah, so they should still be fine on defense. It's really just the offense. Denver has a lot of questions, though, so that's why I can't be confident. Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They're going to be the Chiefs every year as long as the GOAT is there. And then Justin Herbert, they got tied together. The Raiders are one of the worst ran franchises in the NFL, and they have been for like the last 5 years, last 5 to 10 years. So that's the AFC West for you.